June has been really an amazing month for me in terms of books. Hey guys, hi. Today I'm going to talk about the books I read in the month of June, and June for me in terms of books was a really amazing month because I finally got to read more than 5 books a month. And with that also I'm proud of myself because I read more than just a single physical book, though it was just two this month, but I really hope to read more physical books the next month. Though I keep on hoping, but I end up just surfing my Kindle and picking up my next ebook read. So with that, the first physical book of this month is Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. This book follows Beck and Margot. Okay, I expect many of you all have already read about Beck and Margot, but for me, this was a really amazing read. This was a 5-star read for me. And Beck, means being a billionaire, he does simple as well as huge gestures for Margot, which is like our very favorite. These gestures more than the FMC means a lot to us readers. So anyways, this book is a fake fiance, brothers, ex-girlfriend troop. So there is this forbidden thing going on, and again, this book is spicy. This book is really spicy, but this book also balances the spice with the emotional attachment between the characters. This book is not just spice. This book also talks about how they feel. There is this connection you have, this invisible string connecting both Beck and Margot. So obviously there are few books which is just spice, less plot, but this is like plot as well as spice is well balanced. So yes, with this we move on to the next book which I read this month is Full Throttle by Melanie Molan. This book follows Dom and Cherry. So this is like both the characters are, if I'm not wrong, in their 40s or late 40s. So that's when they find their love, pure true love. Cherry has a daughter who is like a grown woman, Hannah, and Hannah wants her mom to find her true love. So Hannah is a great push or a great catalyst throughout the story. Then we have Dom, who is like struggling to be a part of his son's life because he and his ex-wife are divorced and his son is living with his ex-wife. So that struggle goes on. So this book is more emotionally connected than the others which I read this month. And then this book also has its own fair share of spice. This book was a 4-star read for me. And yeah, next book which I read this month was a reread and one of my most personal favorite. It's Catching Feelings by Maren Moray, and this book follows Reezy and Beef. It was like this book was a heat of the moment read because I thought why not read again a old book which I already read, and then sports, romance, baseball, college, whole lot of a vibe. The only reason I love them is because they have already made it in my top enemies to lovers list, because generally in enemies to lovers book, in most of the cases we find that after the characters get together, the spark of those banters lessen a bit, but this book maintained it. It was like from the beginning till the end they tease each other, they fight with each other, they just gaslight each other a lot, and that's when the bomb explodes. That's when things happen. And yes, it worked really well for me. So yes, this was a 5-star read. The next book which I'm gonna talk about is Last Boy by Hannah Gray. This book is again a college romance, again a sports romance, because obviously Walker James is a walking, talking hockey hotness. So yes, this book follows Walker and Poppy. It's more of a second chance romance because they had their own issues, but they weren't, I won't say second chance, because for the first, when they were really good friends, they were not like emotionally romantically connected with each other. But then again, you can call it also a second chance romance because it's after 3 years, I guess 3 or 4 years, they meet again in college. So yes, this book has a lot of emotions, struggles. You will cry. If you are like soft-hearted reader, you will cry, you will laugh. It will, in terms of emotion, this book is a full of emotional roller coaster. From the starting till the end, they get together, they face struggles. Not a moment goes when they're like happy, lovey-dovey couple in college, but yes, this book has its own fair share of emotions going through. This book was a 4-star read for me. The next book is a totally different genre of a book. It's Work-Life Balance by Benjamin Chi and Winnie Ray. This book is again a read it for me this month because I have already read it previously for a read along. And this book, the thing I love about this book first is these cute little illustrations, as you all can see. Okay, and then this book I have rated it a 3.5 star. There is a reason, because as you most of y'all already know that I don't generally rate my books below 4 because I love the books. Somehow or the other they just work out for me. But this book I rated this one 3.5 because I felt the stories was a bit detached because of the illustration in between them. This book follows a typical pattern. It's like you have the stories written in words first and then the illustration depicting them. But I think it would have worked well if it was just illustrations or just prose, just written things. That would have continued the story much lot better. But again, another interesting thing about this book is that, as you all can see, this beautiful covers with all sort of monsters and all roaming around. So yes, this book talks about monsters. It's mostly the South Asian monsters, which we have in India, China, and Nepal. So the funniest thing about this book is like I got to see the monsters I heard about in my childhood as humans. Okay, so there is this twist. It's like the monsters are not depicted as monsters. Yes, they do monsterly things, but then they are being snatched away from that world and thrown into the world of corporate life. So you see the monsters walking and talking like humans in their own corporate life, and how they cope with it, how they don't cope with it, how it leads to the ultimate destruction of that company. So anyways, this book I felt like rating it up 3 stars, but then again it had a bit of emotional attachment for me, so which is why I was a bit biased, because this book reminded me a lot of my own childhood, because in my childhood I read reading illustrations. It was my favorite thing to do because I was not much of a reader, and that has already shocked many. I was not much of a reader when I was a kid. I usually saw those pictures in the book and I shut those books, and now I read pictureless books on and on and on for months. So yes, it was a bit of a, so anyways, this was a 3.5 star read for me because I feel like I'm a bit biased because this reminded me bits and pieces of my childhood. So yes, the next book which I have is an interesting one. It's called Bourbon and Lies by Victoria Wilder. Bourbon and Lies, you have that feeling, bourbon and lies. From lies itself you have a sense of mystery growing on throughout the book. Lanny, and then we have our cowboy Grant, and the thing, oh my god, from the moment they meet, sparks are flowing. Okay, from here my serious slow burn reads start, like, as well as cowboy romances, because equal share. I don't know why. I started with Bourbons and Lies as a cowboy romance, and then I got hooked up with cowboy romance for the rest of the month somehow. So anyways, with Lanny and Grant, Grant knows Lanny is hiding something. Lanny knows Grant is not opening up completely. So you have this sense of mystery going on through the story with the right amount of spice. And I haven't read a suspense romance in so long. So this worked real well for me, real well. This was a 4-star read for me. The next book which I read, this one was Somewhere You Belong by Harlow James, and I love Harlow James's book because there is this reason. She writes really exceptional small town romances. I really love how a small town romance goes on. This book follows Dallas and Willow. It has those cowboy vibes, you can find it here too. But there is this change of thing. Like, I won't say change, there is this hint of mystery as well in this one, because Dallas and Willow are somehow related but don't know how they are related. It's like when you start reading the book, you know how they're related. Though I guessed it in the first half of the book, like how they are related, but I suppose I shouldn't have guessed it in the first half, because it was revealed in the absolute last 10% of the book, I guess 10 or 20% of the book. So yes, which is why I rated this one a 4 star, because I don't know why this book felt a bit predictable for me, because I read a lot of this sort of books. So anyways, this book is actually real good, because you have how they bond, how they finally overcome their struggles, get together, and then again how they constantly fight the geese off. Like, there is this interesting thing going on throughout the book with geese, because there is not just one, there is a whole herd, and they are chasing Willow off her property. So anyways, this has the perfect balance. Again, this one is again a perfect balance of emotions, love, relations, and spice. The next book is, like, this book is one which I'm still a bit obsessed with, you can say. It's Untamed by M.J. Hendricks, and this book follows Holden and Rosie. Okay, the thing about Holden is he is ready to kill for you. He is ready to kill for you. I don't know if it's a sick of me, but I love a character who is ready to kill for you. Yes, Holden kills for Rosie. Holden kills for his sister, because for obvious reason, when you read the book, you know. So there is this family animosity thing going on for ages between the Dixon family and the Redford family. Though Holden holds a grudge against Rosie, Rosie has nothing to do with this. Like, Rosie is not that stick up her ass character we generally find when there is this family animosity thing going on. But anyways, this was a real fun read, real crazy read, because you see things happening in the book, and then there is this rush of adrenaline when the bull riding competitions takes place. So this has its fair share of adventure, mystery, and again love. The next book, before I go into this, the Untamed was a 4 star read for me again. Before I go into the next book, I would suggest you all, if you have triggered just for one single content or topic, don't read this book. I know this seems crazy to you all, but yes, because this book is Sapphire Scar by Pepper Winters, and Pepper Winter is known for her dark romances. I won't say for you guys to search up the list of trigger warnings for this one, because if you are triggered by any such content, any content which are generally present in trigger warning lists, don't go for this one, because this book has all the trigger warnings which ever existed. But then again, I rated this one a 5 star, because for me it's actually the opposite. The darker the book, the better I like it. So yes, this book follows Eliana Sharma and Henrik. It's because, okay, the reason why I'm confused with the male character's name is because throughout the book, Eliana calls him Hen. So how am I gonna remember it's Henrik or Henrich? So whatever it is, I will call him Hen, because I love the cute little nickname Hen. But though the nickname is cute, this book is the darkest book I have read by Pepper so far. This whole series, actually, it's a part of a series. It's the jewelry box series. This thing starts, and it's like Hen is forced to participate in trafficking. So it's like Elena is trafficked and brought to this island where the jewelry box thing happens. It's like girls are regularly abused So yes, this is that sort of a place. Though girls get abused, though they pretend as if they hate each other, as if Hen is a master and Elena is just a slave to him, they both care for each other. From the beginning of the book till the end, they both care for each other. So it's like one of my friend read this one, just read this one, and she was like, yeah, I get such certain points of the book, but I don't really understand their connection from where it started. So I would recommend you all to first start with the first book in the series. So yes, with that, this book is off the charts. This book has certain things, can make you feel certain things. You will cry, you will feel like, what the hell is Hen still doing? He's trying to make people escape, but why? And then the cliffhanger at the end of the book, oh my god, best cliffhanger ever. It's like, I won't spoil it for you guys, because though I wanted to spoil it, but no, let's keep it that way. This one was, as I mentioned, a 5-star read for me, because for obvious reason I love dark romances, and then this was like the darkest I have read in the last few months. This book has some sick things going on throughout. Like there are these chases, not just normal chases like you need to find this jewelry or you need to find that jewelry. No, this has chases which is like you need to find your own slave, and just to protect Elena from the whole master thing going on, like where the masters share their slaves. Henry is very possessive of Lana. He goes to Victor, like the who owns this trafficking ring. He goes to him and says that I want Ilana just for myself. Though it's not just possessiveness, it's his feelings for Ilana. Throughout the book, they are referred to as their own twisted flames, I guess, at their own twisted flames. So there is this strong special bonding which you can't find in your soulmate, but in your twisted flames, as mentioned in the book. It's like you can hear what your other half of the twisted flame is speaking, and he can hear your thoughts. So it's a mix and mix of that. I'm really excited for the last book, which is the Diamond Kisses. You all will hear that it's sapphire scar. It's sound really interesting in terms of jewelry, but it has nothing to do with jewelry. It's all with violence. It's all with violence. It always ends with violence. So anyways, that's me speaking a lot for a book, because I'm still with the hang of it, because I completed it last night. So yes, that's all for today. Hope you all have read a lot of books in the month of June. Drop down in the comments some real good recommendations from your reading month of June, because I really need some recommendation, though I have like a list long TBR on my shelf already to read. But yeah, that's all for today. Bye bye. See you in the next video.